everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in Advent, Part 10, as part of the Legend of the Four Keeps. Today is November 4th, 2019, and you are loved. And that is something that we like to say at the beginning of every single one of our games, because I feel like it is greatly important and imperative to let you all know that you are indeed loved and capable of love, and I believe in you. We believe in you. If you appreciate hearing that message and want to hear it possibly more often, consider going and checking out the rest of our streams. We do this Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with a slew of different characters and guests. It's always very fun. If this is your first time catching the show, consider going to youtube.com/indooradventures to catch up on the VODs. Or if you are more of an audio-oriented person and prefer a listening experience, consider going to wherever podcasts are available. You can find us under the same moniker. You already support us with podcasts, YouTube, Twitch, like our dear friend Bonus Stage Rob, who just did us a heckin' sub. Thank you so much, Rob. If you already support us there, consider going to patreon.com/indooradventures, where we have our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from the community at large, but also from each other. If that is something that you'd be interested in because you have questions for us, consider joining our Discord. The link is open to anyone, and it is found below, either in the description of this Twitch, of this YouTube, of this podcast, wherever. We try and post it so that way you guys can come and join a pretty wholesome community, if I must say so myself. Right now, bit.ly/adventure merch goes to a broken link, so don't go there. I'm still figuring out how best to switch over to Teespring. It's taking more time than I anticipated, but I also have less free time in my day-to-day, so working on it. But once you are there, you'll probably be able to find things like t-shirts, posters, mugs, pants, all sorts of great stuff that we will offer, of course, to you all. But that is it for my spiel. So, RJ, who are you playing tonight?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ. I'll be playing Caelum, the Shatterkai Cleric Wizard.
Hi, I'm LBHackEmUp, and I will be playing Gwen, the Halfling Barbarian Fighter.
Hi, I'm Cyber, and I play Arjhan, the Dragonborn Blood Hunter Cleric.
I'm Wings, and I play Coriander, the Elegant Paladin.
And I am the Indoor Adventurer, and tonight I shall be your Dungeon Master. So, last we left off, it feels like it has been a bit longer than a week. That is because, of course, last week we had our wonderful Halloween crossover event that was headed by our dear friend Greybeard of Greybeard's Tavern, even though he is currently beardless. It's fine. He's a great guy. Consider going to check out his channel. And during the events that led up to it, you guys had managed to make your way all the way to the ancient archfey tree known as Soul, where where it revealed to you all that it was indeed a practical funster, a real jokey tree. And as the four of you came into its vicinity, it managed to catch most of you within its wicked roots and then asked you a very poignant question. If you all wanted to hear a joke. It was at that it revealed that the real joke was the freedom of choice, and sent you all tumbling down into darkness as it opened up, as vines opened up beneath you, causing you to fall. During this falling sequence, there was a feeling of separation, of darkness, and then you all have very vague memories of meeting groups of individuals. Arjhan and Gwen, you met a human man and a young 9-year-old girl and a tiefling woman who all seemed very scared. Cori and Caelum, the two of you ended up meeting a half-elf wizard as well as a monster of a man who was somehow able to hand off an axe towards Cori. It was during that point that the mists surrounded you again, and the full memories of this interaction that you had begin to fade away as well. And you feel yourselves falling through the darkness once again. I don't know how, but my camera has decided to die. So that's going to be fucking abysmal to start up again. So hey guys, we are going to be right back. Don't go nowhere. Why are you like this, camera? You guys have found yourself in the darkness, and you are currently falling. And we are going to go and start with our dear friend Cori. Cori, as you are falling, you don't know where your friends are. The last thing that you remember was being handed this axe and told that it could fuck up some plants. And you held on to that thing as you began to fall once more. And as you're falling, you are able to see these things. And when I say things, they look more like shattered panes of glass, and every, it seems, 100 feet that you fall, you hear again this same shattering noise. And as you look up, you can see your life playing out in reverse. You see that in some of these panes of glass is you meeting the Curse of Strahd crew. In other of these panes of glass, you see yourself in Marysville on the deck of the Moonrunner. You see yourself in Silt Creek fighting Caelum as he's been possessed by a ghost. Another shatter of glass. You see yourself walking into Shroudport with a Dragonborn that you would later know as Arjhan. There's another shattering of glass, and you are standing in front of the Judges 3. And then there is another shattering of glass, and your vision is dark, but you feel warm, and you are getting shaken. And as you open up your eyes and see what could possibly be shaking you, you see a Eladrin figure staring over you, and you recognize this figure to be Cypress. And Cypress lets you know that today is the day that you, he, and Phalaris are going to be going to the Winter Isle to go and inspect and investigate what has happened to Laristine, the Eladrin of the Enduring Frost. And you've experienced this before, but you don't have any memories of a future past this point. You are finding yourself within this moment of time. And so you and Cypress and Phalaris all go. And it takes several days to actually get to the Winter Isle. It's a little bit of a trek, but Cypress seems like he is in better spirits than he has typically found himself in. Phalaris is kind of letting you all know what duties you can expect when becoming a Caelum, as that is to be your destiny. And as you find yourself in the Winterlands again, you and Cypress and Phalaris all end up splitting up, as you always do in this situation, as you always have. But this time, you are the one who gets to the cave first. And you look in, and you see that there is an elven figure sitting up against the wall, and they are kind of looking at a space between their legs. And the part of you that cares so deeply for the betterment of all elven kind, the goodness in you, makes your feet begin to travel forward. And that is when you get close to Laristine. And as you reach out and call out his name, that is when you feel the draw. You feel that there is some sort of magical ability that is pulling you towards Laristine. And this form looks up at you, and their eyes are as blue as the coldest night, and an ageless power fills your veins as wisps of raw elemental energy leave Laristine's. The color of your vision begins to shift until you can see a form at the mouth of the cave. Everything around you is blues, whites, and grays. And this form, as you look at it, is almost radiating a green and reddish light. And you feel like you want to do whatever you can to remove the source of these colors. They are unnatural, they are wrong, they are against everything that you stand for. And as you focus and you see the face behind the form, you lock eyes with Cypress, and you feel the words fall from your mouth as freely as the tears that spill from your eyes. I'm sorry. Cypress was never as quick as you were, and Phalaris wasn't prepared for the strength that Venru had found within you. Wraith finds itself in your possession, and within the matter of a single evening, autumn succumbs to the enduring frost. Spring and summer attempt to mount a defense, but they too suffer the same fate as the Autumn Isle. You have brought winter to the Feywild, and with the power of the year's wheel, you set your sights on the realms beyond to bring an unending serenity to all. Caelum. You feel yourself falling as well, and there is this moment where you end up meeting, again, this monster of a man, this half-elven wizard who seems to show so much potential. And as the mists wrap around you, you feel yourself falling and traveling backwards as well. And as you look up, each of these shattering moments happens at what you believe to be crucial moments. The first time you ever went to Caelum's library, the first time that you met Farron, the first time that you met the Four Keeps, the first time that you had any of these experiences, until eventually you feel like you have gone back as far as you possibly can, because there are no memories past this point. And you begin to live out a life. You are found by a half-elven follower of Selûne, and you are taken to a temple of the moon goddess. You were raised with a full understanding of who you were, and while you didn't have a direct adopted family, you were under the care of the collective. You excelled in your studies, and soon you ventured to the floating city. It was an absolute marvel of technological and magic advancement, and you knew this to be the home of the Grand Anatheum, the greatest library ever compiled within the lands as you know them. You needed money, so you did what any academic would do. You got a job as a teacher at the local university, having proven your capability of understanding concepts both large and small. And seeing that industry and magic are capable of interacting so closely in Vascor, you began to look at your own abilities and began to wonder how you could possibly go about combining your faith in Selûne with the magics of the modern wizard. As your research progressed, you discovered hints at a language as old as magic itself, and within a year, you were fully capable of insinuating the syntax and learning how to bypass the magical barriers that had been placed on the weave to create spells the likes of which had never been seen. You gained an assistant, a tiefling woman by the name of Micah, with mauve skin and a starry-eyed expression that filled you with hope and the desire to always do your absolute best. Together, you discovered a grimoire unlike any that you had ever seen, the cover embossed with a four-eyed creature almost reminiscent of a bovine, a magical lock without a keyhole, and pages smooth to the touch as if they had been thumbed over hundreds of times. As you read, Micah yelps in surprise as a dark form rises from this tome, and in the moment you falter. Shadow fills the room around you, and as a monstrous form on the wall appears and takes shape, you watch the lights in Micah's eyes become filled with the darkness of the void. The stars of belief that she held in you, now the smallest pinpricks of distant galaxies. Galaxies full of magical ability that could be harnessed to fix every problem. And they are just waiting to be harnessed. Arjhan, as you fall as well, you see your past play out before you, each time getting shattered through panes of broken glass. until eventually, like Caelum, there are no more memories to go back to. In this life that you lead, you were never raised by blood hunters. Instead, you were given a proper upbringing for a herald of the Black Tyrant. You studied underneath the greatest generals and philosophers that the cult of tyrants had to offer. Your draconic heritage was praised and lauded over the non-scaled members of the followers of the Queen, and soon you were able to harness the innate abilities that Tarlaean bestowed upon you. His spirit became your most trusted advisor, and with the 5 heads of the cult working together, one by one the warring nations fell. You brought them peace. No longer were the nations fighting amongst themselves, but they were following your directive, and the people were prosperous. Fitting that it would be the last chromatic that would be your rival, or the last metallic that would be your rival. Embracing the power of the Queen, your large blackened wings took you skyward to meet your opponent, and in this moment, you embraced your destiny. No longer confined to the form of a draconian, you become the dragon. Elemental prowess tears through your body as your teeth and claws find purchase in the form of the bronze menace, and after a battle that made the very earth quake and shudder below, you are found victorious. Time and time again, there are those who attempt to rise up against you, each claiming a divine right or a path of lineage to some great hero or some such, and each time you raise their hopes to the ground. Those that remain loyal find their lives blessed by the powers of the dragon, as their songs of praise rise ever higher to the sky, cheering for the Blood King of the Ashen Ever, or the Ashen After. Gwen. You find yourself falling as well, and you reach a point where you are being forced to hide inside of a cupboard. You know that the Goliaths are here within Greenreach, and this was the moment that in your own course of history, this was when you ran away. But in this moment, in this lifetime, you decide to stay. You were appalled at how the halflings had just rolled over and accepted their fate, but the halflings knew the lands better than the Goliaths. Together, you banded together with a group of other like-minded halflings your age, and you began to fight back in any way that you could. Traps used to hunt bears could be used to hunt something as large as one of the, say, Goliaths, and the name of the tiny terror entered into their vernacular. Together, you led the rebellion against these large monsters that had come to your lands, and after you successfully warded them off, your efforts were recognized. Together, the elders of Greenreach bestowed the title of Defender of the Northlands to you, allowing you to become a figurehead within the Reach at such an incredibly young age. Through your travels in the northern peaks, you rescued a young wolf pup who you loved and raised to be your riding animal, and soon the defenders of the north all rode upon Wolfback, allowing you quick travel across the rolling hills. Without needing to be married into a large family, the Proudfoot family was elevated into the higher ranks of halfling society, and as time carried on, you became an elder yourself. Your body too old to fight, but your mind still sharp enough for your tactics. For generations, the halflings of Greenreach would look to the guidance of the Mother Proud, and with wisdom brought on only by a life of travel and hardship, you continued to lead the Reach in a streak of profound prosperity, defended against all those that would ever dare to harm the lands that you held close to your heart. As you are all experiencing this, one by one there is a tearing sound. And Cori, Caelum, Arjhan, and Gwen, you feel yourselves falling. And not falling in the same way as you had before, as the ground meets you very quickly this time. And you feel your blood start flowing normally again. You can feel breaths being taken. You don't honestly remember when the last time you could breathe was. And Caelum, You have the highest passive perception, yes?
Yes.
So as you are regaining your consciousness, all of you will have gained the effects of a long rest. But if there were any preparations that needed to be done, such as spell swapping, those were unable to be completed during this time. And Caelum, as you look up, you see that there is a half-elven figure who has a long rapier, that the rapier actually seems to have a fierce point tipped down at the end, almost like it would be used for ripping or tearing, that is currently in the process of breaking what looks to be a large amber-colored pod that has your friend Gwen currently inside of it. And as this rapier cuts across, you see that flames actually lick off the sides of it, very similarly to how your friend Arjhan actually practices their weapon styles.
If I turn my head real quick, how close are we to the ground?
You are on the ground. It looks like where you were cut just splooted you down onto the ground. You're covered in this very viscous amber goo, but all things considered, you are fine. You are awake and you have your things. If anything, you have one additional item that you don't necessarily remember how you got, which is a small Matryoshka doll.
He's gonna look up to the half-elven figure and just yell, "Hey!" Who are you?
I only want to answer this once. So why don't we wait for your friends to wake up first?
That's fair. He looks around and starts trying to rouse everyone.
And you are all roused. From your past lives and from the events, I guess from your alternate lives, as well as from the past events of the Halloween crossover, it feels like a very muddled dream. Especially for Arjhan and Gwen, with the multiple timelines that were occurring during your Halloween crossover. It very much feels like a muddled dream, but there are bits and pieces that you can recall of grandeur, of what it would have been like had pieces of your life been any different.
All right, everyone okay?
What am I covered in?
Not gonna answer that. Maybe sap.
Everyone okay?
And this half-elven figure, seeing Arjhan still slumped over on the ground, is actually going to come over, set herself underneath your arm, Arjhan, and help you up. And you recognize this figure. You recognize this figure as Ilni.
Only.
Honestly, wasn't expecting to see you here, but seems you're making a name for yourself, so that's good. Now, come on, stand up. We don't exactly have a whole lot of time.
What? Wait.
How'd you find us?
I was hired about a month ago to investigate some Fey bullshit. And she makes a very wide arc with her hands. That was going on in the Halfling Society, and given that my patron is Fey, the other hunters felt like it was best that I go and check it out. So I've just kind of been surviving.
As though somebody had like called her name when she said "Fey bullshit," Coriander's going to like sit stark up and then just kind of like check herself, and she's like, "Where are we? Who are we?" What's going on?
You're Cori. I'm Caelum. That's Arjhan and Gwen. And this is Arjhan's friend. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your name. You're gonna have to
Ilmi.
repeat it again. Ilmi.
Ilmi.
Can I do a medicine check on her? Because she said she's been surviving here for months, and I want to see if any of the corruption has taken her like the halflings.
Sure. Cori, you also find on your person that there is a war axe that has Elven engraved into the handle that just says "fuck plants."
16.
So with a 16, she looks weathered. Definitely has some fresh scratches and a little bit of scarring that you can tell is newer, not necessarily deep scars, but it does appear as though she has been trying. As far as you're aware, you're not sure what surviving for the last month here means, but you've seen the Darrow and she does not look like she has suffered any of those ill effects.
Nice to meet you. I've heard things.
Eleni, this is Gwen, Caelum, and Cori. I've been traveling with him for a while.
And once you are helped stand to your feet, she ducks out from under your arm and just says, "Well, I would like to say thank you for keeping my best friend alive."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no problem. You said we didn't have a lot of time. What do you mean?
So, you saw the tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Briefly.
She motions with a hand, and as you look, you realize that the walls, floor, and ceiling are all a twisted compilation of roots, and it looks like you are within the tree.
Fun.
Do we have a way out?
You can find one. I've been using a very small hole to get in and out of. A little bit of fey magic makes things easier.
Can we walk and talk, or
Yes.
is that...
I would suggest that. This way. And she begins walking, leading you guys down a tunnel, and says, "It thrives off of potential, off of possibilities. What I've seen happen," and as you're walking, you see that there are more of these large amber sacks that have what look to be smaller humanoids actually inside of them. It makes you live out what it believes to be your best possible life, and then once you've finished it, once you've lived it, it takes all of that energy, all of that potential, and harnesses it for itself and leaves... Well, I'm assuming that you've probably seen what it leaves behind.
We have. So this is what we know, and I'll tell her everything about either plum or fig, and their staff, and what we know about it, and then also the stuff about the Winterfell.
And she has a look of knowing concern.
So what have you found out?
Well, what have I found out is that there was a Furbolg. Whether or not they're still alive remains to be seen. I've seen what looks like a husk of one.
Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
It seems like, well, whatever this thing is, it needed a host to start the process, and, well, powerful fey magic is the easiest explanation that I can give to this.
Is there a way for us to sever it?
From my understanding, we just have to go and find the heart of the tree. Attacking the outside won't do us any good, but if we can find a means of either stopping its concentrated power or just destroying the center of it, well, that's usually how rot sets in, right? It starts inside and then just works its way out until it's too late.
Wait. I'm sorry, can we take a minute? I think that fall kind of loosened something. I need to adjust my armor.
Now is really not the time. Caelum, was it?
Yeah, sorry. It's just really uncomfortable right now.
Do you know what's here?
Some
I can
fey
think.
bullshit.
Who? More than that.
Wait, there's stuff in here?
We need to leave.
Okay.
Can't we just kill it? I mean, we're already inside of it.
I think that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Ilne, you didn't see a wolf, did you?
And she...
We brought Cyber to the tree, right?
You guys had...
Yeah.
I thought you guys had left Cybra with your Auroch in the brewery.
I remember
Okay.
leaving her in the brewery.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Then that's fine.
Yeah, I believe you guys had said, I don't want to involve our wolf puppo with this fey
Yeah.
bullshit. So that was the impression that I have been going off of.
Cool. Just making sure. Andor, I don't trust you with our pets.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna divine sense this chick.
Okay.
Celestial fiend, undead, fey.
You are getting a strong sense of fey.
All right. I think Coriander can put 2 and 2 together. I'm sorry. You're a blood hunter, yes?
Yes.
Who exactly is your fey patron?
And when you ask that, I have it written down. I swear to the gods. She says that her patron is Nimere.
Nimere. Do I recognize that name?
Make a history check.
Oh boy. As
Oh,
always, I'm great at those. Actually not too bad. 13.
There are a lot of archfey. This doesn't seem like a notable one if you haven't heard of them.
I'm not sure if I've heard of them. Where do they hail from?
And she stops and then looks at you and says, Spring. Why do you ask?
I'm going to check which direction my skull is pointing.
Okay.
Is she like horny all the time?
Ilde just like squints her eyes and looks at you. You realize we could die at any moment, right?
You have a flawed perception of what spring is, Gwen.
Well, I mean, I'm only going off of what you do.
Cori
Aren't-
flushes a little.
Gwen, aren't you horny all the time and you don't have a spring form?
Yeah, but I'm not fey.
You're kind of fey.
I'm not.
Aren't halflings kind of fey? No? Okay. I
Listen,
redact
the way
that
that
statement.
I act in my spring form is the way everyone acts in their spring form.
Well, I just assumed all Eldrins were the same. What kind of person do you think I am, Cori?
Sorry, that's not in character laughter.
Ilni is just rubbing the bridge of her nose and just says, there really isn't time for... And as she's saying this, the wood roots along the walls begin to shift and shake. And you watch as 3 humanoid forms actually begin to emerge out of the wood, each one with what looks to be a large club. And I would like for you all to roll into initiative.
Wah!
Ow, can you not? Thank you.
Also, Wing's audio is apparently a little quiet according to the hype goblin.
How's How's this?
Little louder.
How's this? Not changing?
Just a little bit up.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go into my settings. Or you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull the
Suddenly
microphone
bass boosted
closer.
wings. Brr, brr, brr.
13.
Okay.
16.
16. Caelum
18.
and Cori.
13.
Okay, so Caelum, you
Yes.
are going first as you watch as these lengths of wood that are forming these humanoid bodies seem to break off, and there are just jagged pieces of wood that are forming these humanoid shapes as two very small, vibrant yellow eyes appear in holes that are being made within these structures. They appear menacing.
They're about to get menaced. Sure. Caelum, how far are they?
They are at this point roughly between 10 and 15 feet away from you guys.
Is there one by itself where if I run up and try to run away, I won't provoke from the other two? Or are they clustered around?
There is two on one side, one on the other, so if you targeted the singular one, you'd be able to.
Do that.
Okay.
I run up to it and cast Nevermore. 23.
Totally hits.
17, 23, 27, 44 points of force damage.
Okay. Holy shit. Got it.
And then I'm going to use my movement to backstep backwards towards the group.
Okay, sounds good. So next up, Arjhan.
Are two of them within 5 feet of each other?
Yes.
Bonus action, light my claws. And then I would like to use my action to cast Green Flame Blade and attack one.
Okay.
Let me damage myself real quick. That's gonna miss. That's a 7.
Yeah, 7 does not hit.
Cool.
Okay.
That's my turn.
Sounds good. So next up is Ilni, who you see their blade is already lit from having helped you guys escape out of the amber pods. And she is then going to rush up and kind of spin around next to where you are, Arjhan, so the two of you can fight against this together. And she does not hit, which is great. Then second attack, that is a natural one. So as you know, this is making up for the last my Ghost of Saltmarsh game where I rolled so many 20s. So now you guys get the bad for a guest, as usual. But that is Ilni's turn. So next up is Cori and Gwen to determine amongst yourselves who goes first.
My dex is 13.
My dex is 12. I will also probably run as Gwen, she'll probably run in. So if you want to do something.
Do we get to pick who goes first?
I'll say
Regardless
yes.
of our dex? All right, you can go.
Okay. Gwen is going to tiny rage, and then she's going to run in next to one of them, and she's going to attack with her. She's pulling out the Runtax. She's going to recklessly attack. It's okay. I'll be fine. Oh, that's a 25 to hit on the first
Okay.
attack.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And that's 14 points of damage.
Okay, and was that on the one that Arjhan was attacking, the one that the flames could have leaped to next to Arjhan, or was that the one that Caelum had rushed up?
The one that Arjhan the one that the flames licked up onto, the one that Arjhan
Okay.
is not directly attacking.
Sounds good.
All right, and then second attack is a 17 to hit.
So as your axe swings in with the 17, you see this creature bring down an arm, and the wood grows into the shape of a shield as it seems to bat it away from itself.
Bitch. Okay.
All right, so next up, Cori.
All right. Cori is gonna try and find a fairly central place. She wants to stay as close to as many friends as possible, but still get into melee. So whichever one she has to attack for that.
Okay.
First attack is gonna be. Doesn't help if I'm looking at my spells. 19.
A 19 does hit.
All right. So that's going to be. Oh, here's the thing. She reaches for her sword, but then realizes she has an axe. And she's just going to try and imitate Gwen's form with this thing. And she's going to bring it down on the plant person. Does that do anything special?
It do.
Okay, cool. So that's going to be, with double dice, that's going to be 12 plus 17 slashing damage.
Okay, and which guy was this?
The
The one that Caelum blasted, the one that Gwen attacked, or the one that Arjhan is currently trying to strike?
I'll say it was the one that Gwen attacked.
Okay. So how much was it? 14 and what?
17
Okay.
slashing damage. Is it still alive?
Yes, it is.
All right, I'm going to throw a smite on there then. I mean, unless you think that I should like throw smites on things before I know if they're or after I'm like
After hit confirm, but before damage is calculated, that's when you smite.
okay. In that case, I attack again. Oh, that's a natural one. Never mind. All is well.
Okay. Sounds good. So that is when Gwen, the one that you were able to sink your axe into, and you actually saw deal a healthy bit of damage against it. In the space that was created with the cut, you see that it has almost like a hollow body. That it is just the casing of bark that would create a log, but there's nothing substantial underneath. You actually see as vines from the ground begin to enter into its feet, and then you see that there are these vines in this broken away place that you have chipped off that are beginning to stitch and knit itself back together as this thing actually gains some of its health back. And it seems like Caelum, the one that you never moored as well, is also experiencing this. Now it is their turn. Gwen, there is one that is directly on you, and it is going to try and strike out towards you as you are very loud and tried to make yourself very known during this case. And it got a 19 to hit.
Yeah. Did you roll at advantage?
Yes, it did.
Okay, good.
So that is going to be for 17 points of bludgeoning damage. And then it is going to make a second attack towards you.
Do it.
Do it.
And that is a 19 to hit as well.
Mm-hmm.
For 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
Cool.
Caelum, the one that you blasted, seems to turn and look almost directly at you, and it is then going to just rush at you. And in doing so, is going to come right up with its large club and begin trying to wail down upon you. So, does a 22 hit?
It does.
Okay. And you are going to be taking 14 points of bludgeoning damage on the first hit.
I'm gonna take 5 of those away as Grayskull appears in front of you to slash some of it at.
Okay. And then a 26 to hit on the second strike.
Nah.
And that is going to be for a total of 16 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Arjhan, the one that is on you and the one that you and Ilni are covering, it is going to try and strike out towards you as you have actively flaming hands. It no like it. So that is a 13?
Nope.
Okay. And then second attack is a 23.
Well, I guess.
And that is going to deal 16 points of bludgeoning damage. As it tries to do a heckin' strike towards you.
Sorry, DM. How much did I lose on that the second hit? Because I accidentally killed Caelum.
The second hit was 14.
Cool.
I believe it was 14, so I'm just going to say it. All right. So then next up, Caelum. You have this wood creature in front of you, and you can see that Gwen and Cori are teamed up on one, and Arjhan and your new half-elf companion are teamed up on the other.
I'm gonna do my heckin' best to keep this one busy, and I'm gonna cast my cantrip on it. Rune Trap. It's Booming Blade.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Wah, 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 wah. Wait, how much does my spear do? I have not used my spear in a very long time. 1d6. Plus... No, the damage goes up to this much. If it's forced to move, does it take also the double the damage dice, or no?
Not if it's forced to. I don't.
No, because if it has to move to come after me, does it also take the double damage dice on the critical, or should we rule that as like it just?
I'm gonna say no, just because it's a post effect. The double damage is only for on hit.
Oh. What are you doing here? 8, 15, 20, 24 points of necrotic damage.
Oh boy. Okay.
As its bark skin starts to grow these like runic tattoos around it, and then they stop around the shoulders, and then Caelum's going to retreat to the rest of the group.
Okay. Sounds good. So as you back up, next up, Arjhan.
I still got 2 guys on me.
Yes.
I'm going to attack the more damaged one with a Green Flame Blade first off, and then bonus action the other Lit Claw.
Okay.
That's going to be a 23 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
For 3 points of slashing damage. And 6 points of fire damage. The one next to it will get 5 points of fire damage. And does an 11 hit?
An 11 does not. And as you would expect from dealing damage to plants, it looks like the flames are doing much more than they would against any other normal foe. All right, so then next up is Cori and Gwen. Or sorry, next up is Ilni, who is going to try and stab out at the one that is directly in front of you, Arjhan, which is the one that the flames had leapt to, is the one that was more injured, was the one Gwen was fighting. She was able to hit.
Yeah.
Meine Gute. And deals a total of 9 points of piercing damage.
She's got a lit sword though.
Yes, I'm still not very familiar as to how blood hunters work. And then it is 2 points of the fire rays. Which is good, because that's still better than nothing. Okay, so then she's going to try and stab again. With the bwomps. I still got it. Womp, 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 womp.
I'm so sorry.
So that is 13 points of piercing damage and then 6 points of fire damage.
These are some meaty boys.
4. All right. It still stands. But you guys are seeing how her rapier kind of works, which is as she stabs in, she twists it and then pulls back out, and the little hook that is at the end of the rapier just seems to take chunks of whatever wooden flesh this creature has with it. That is it for her turn. So, Gwen and Cori.
I'm gonna do a heckin' attack on this thing.
Do it.
I'll recklessly attack again, because why not? 22?
Okay. 22 hits.
Alright. That's 16 points of damage on the first one.
Okay.
Second one is a natural 1. Good thing I'm lucky.
Hey.
Does a 19 hit?
A 19 does hit.
Okay. I'm gonna re-roll that. It's a 5, but I'm gonna re-roll it because I'm. Oh no, I can't. Never mind. So that would be. Oh no, I can because I'm a savage attacker. Oh, it's an 8. Okay, good. That's 13 points on the second one.
Okay. That is actually what you needed in order to
Sweet.
fell this wood beast. So, next.
Cori or Gwen just like chomps this thing from shoulder to groin,
Nice.
and then she just ready for the next one.
All right. Cori.
Awesome. There's 2 left.
That is correct. One
All
of
right.
them looks like it is doing much worse than the other.
All right, I'll get the one that's looking bad. See if I can pick him off. I have a question.
Sure.
Do I double smite damage as well?
I would say no.
Okay. I'd probably rule it that way too.
Different
Is it
source of
rolled?
damage.
Oh,
17.
17 does not hit.
Woof. Okay, second attack. Oh, how's about a 25?
That
Mr.
super
Sir?
hits, yes.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Uh-huh. 14 slashing damage.
Okay.
That's it.
Sounds good. It is still barely holding itself together.
Should have smited.
But it
Stingy.
is still there. And on its turn, you can see that it is again beginning to stitch itself back together. But the one that Arjhan, you and Ilni have been working on, they are incapable of having done the same thing. It looks like the flames that are kind of burning on them are preventing these vines from being able to do the work that they need to. So it is going to be very upset and try and strike out towards you, Arjhan. And it gets a 23 to hit.
Sure.
And that is a total of 13 points of bludgeoning damage with its first hit.
Okay. Can it make a dex save for me, please?
Oh, it can try. That is bad. That's a 13 or a 12.
It needed a 13.
Well, it failed.
That's going to be 14 points of fire damage from my Hellish Rebuke.
Okay. It is barely standing at this point, as the flames have just wreathed around it, and it only shoots you a quick, like, quizzical glance. The last time she saw you, you didn't have a patron, but now you are casting magic, so she seems just like, nice, like, now is not the time for me to be judging. We could die. And then Cori, the one that you ran up to, was the one that Caelum had been performing magics on. So it is just going to stay where it is and try and strike out against you with this axe that seems to be dealing more to it than it planned on. It fails its first hit and does a 21 hit.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So that is going to deal 15 points of bludgeoning damage. And then you
Alright.
reduce 3 of it?
Yep.
Okay.
Resist 3.
Sounds good. Next up, Caelum.
I'm gonna cast my Valraven magic missile these motherfuckers. I'm gonna split them 2 and 2.
Okay.
6 points of magical piercing on one and 3 points of magical piercing on the other.
Okay, so the one that Ilni and Arjhan have been fighting, you watch as this magical raven just shoots through, and
Oh, it's the spears.
Oh, it's the spears. Okay.
Yeah.
So as these spears pierce into it, this creature just falls apart, no longer able to hold itself up with the magics within. And the other creature that has taken most of Caelum's magical damage is still standing and is looking very upset about everything that has happened, if a plant creature could look upset. Next up, Arjhan.
There's just one left.
There is just the one left.
I am going to take 2 claw attacks at it.
Okay.
For my action. Neither of them will hit with a 9 and a 10.
No.
But you know what? I've got a bonus action. I'll try to do it again. 15? No.
15 does not hit.
Okay. I fired and I whiffed.
And a whiffed. And now Ilni is going to follow you into combat and try and do the same thing. And gets a 21 to hit. And deals 6 points of piercing damage and 3 points of fire damage. Which is... as fire has doubled exactly what she needed to drop this creature. So Arjhan, as your flaming claws are coming in, trying to strike out against this creature, she uses its distracted presence and slips in with her rapier, just piercing it right through, pulling back. And as she does, it seems like she had struck true enough with the hook that it actually tears off the club arm of this creature, and the lights that it has in its eyes fade out as this creature also just collapses onto the ground, and you begin to watch as these forms all begin to deteriorate and begin turning to mulch. And Ilni just looks at the lot of you and motions and just, we need to go.
What? That was easy.
There's gonna be more.
Gwen's rage drops and she starts tromping out. Stomp footing, if you will.
So I need all of you to roll Constitution saves.
Boy, oh boy.
Oh boy.
As she
plus
is
3.
just moving very quickly through this place. She seems to know where she's going, and is trying not to stop anywhere for too long.
+4.
Plus 3 if you stand next to me.
Natural 20.
Ah,
Nice.
get it.
12.
14.
16.
Okay, you are all fine, and you run around this wood-like maze that seems to sprawl out underneath where the tree is for 20 minutes or so, until eventually it only points to a small nook that has kind of formed, and she says, "In here, we need to go, just follow me." And she runs, and it looks like she just passes through a solid wall.
You follow.
Follow.
We
Okay.
do that.
And as you pass through, Caelum, make a Arcana check.
Is this like platform 9 3/4 from the book I read of Morris once? Plus how much? 8? 25.
You recognize this as a hallucinatory terrain spell.
Dang, son. Where'd you find those?
And as you guys follow her in, there seems to be a cavern that she is leading you into. There is a decent sized lake that seems to exist underneath the ground inside of this cavern. And you can see that there is a small bedroll that has been set up off to a side of this cavern towards the back, as well as what looks to be a small stash of weapons, some of which are broken and most of which are not sized for a half-elf. It looks like she has been just taking what she can when she can find it from halflings. And looking around, she says, "All right, this is a safe place. I've done my best. I've talked to Nimue. We've spoken about it. I don't know how to get back to the surface, and for that, I do apologize."
Kill the tree, get to the surface. Priorities.
Yes. Priorities.
Do you want like a ration or something? I have beer. I have liquor.
Oh. And you see her shoulders slump. Yes. I would love some.
Gwen will pass them off.
I can't offer you the warmth of a fire, but there is at least some small time for respite here.
That's fine.
Tell me, was that hallucinatory terrain when we entered? That was you, right?
Yes and no. Yes,
Okay.
I was able to participate in the casting of it, but it wasn't me necessarily.
This piques Cori's interest.
Go on.
Well, I'm sure Arjhan has, or I'm sure, yeah, because she only knows you as
She
Blake.
only knows me as Blake.
I'm sure Blake has probably told you. The Order of the Witch Knight.
Arjhan.
Who?
He goes by Arjhan now.
She looks towards you, Arjhan.
It's a long story.
It's a better name. It'll take me a couple of tries to really get into it, but please know it's coming from the heart. Now, last, Arjhan has probably told you the Witch Knights often invite extra spirits to themselves in order to gain extra strength, extra power, and sometimes the spirit that you invite in can be chatty and talkative and helpful, and other times not exactly so.
Gwen nods a knowing nod.
Yeah, Cori starts staring at Gwen without realizing.
And Nimue is chatty and helpful, to say the least.
That's good, man.
Yes. And as such, again, not exactly helpful in the means of getting out of this place, but helpful enough to get my bearings.
Well, that's good at least.
Yeah.
But if you ever have any trouble with your patron, I am the lower Caelum of the Fallen Leaves, so I will talk to them if I have to.
She's a fey cap.
It's not how I would
She's
describe
not a
it.
narc.
I like to think of myself as Fey Batman, or like a Fey Power Ranger.
I don't know what
These
any of that
any
is.
those mean.
words you say are the... Wait, so what's a cop?
Exactly.
Constable. Like
Yeah,
a constable.
Well,
Or
the person
guardsman.
who upholds the laws.
Oh, okay.
A guard,
A guard. I get that one. Yes.
Right.
a knight.
Okay.
Before we tangent any further, Ilmi, how far have you explored in this tree?
I've explored enough to know that it's never the same twice.
Great. So like the sewers under Shroudport when we had to deal with that bubbly thing.
Oh my god, that was so long ago. You almost died, Caelum.
I almost die a lot during this adventure.
True.
Try not to. Trying not
You
to
should-
die is prerogative.
Calum lifts a finger, points over to Coriander as he starts walking away to go adjust his armor.
So,
Arjhan died first.
It is not a race or a contest. Stop dying.
I'm sorry. You died? And she looks
twice.
Twice, actually.
over. Do you know a powerful cleric? Or is this something your patron?
I
It's decided.
also have a chatty and sometimes sometimes chatty and sometimes helpful patron.
Fae? Undead? Probably not that one. Celestial?
Gwen just
Draconic.
gives an awkward smile.
Draconic?
It's a long story.
Isn't there only like one of them?
Yep.
Alright.
It's not him.
Like I was saying, if you have any trouble with your patron, please let me know. I'd hate to think that any of my friends were being bullied and not telling me.
And she just looks at you. That sounds like something you should unpack with your friends. Nimue and I go way back. It's fine.
She's saying that completely clueless as to Arjhan's situation. It sounds passive aggressive, but she's completely clueless.
Nimue is fine.
Good. Is my skull pointing anywhere in particular?
Your skull, when you pull it out, is pointing back towards the way that you came with a slight upward angle. What is that?
Hey,
I'm
bullshit.
just trying. Yes, fable shit. I'm just trying to rescue Spring, is all.
Is there something wrong with Spring? And she's like, really like, my patron's from there.
My Spring, in particular. Spring isn't in trouble yet.
Why yet?
Have they not told you?
I don't really ask.
Oh, boy. So, winter's going a little bit haywire, starting to bleed into the autumn isles, and spring and summer are going to be next. So, what I need to do is figure out how to tame the primordial fae and then stop them before it gets too late.
And she just looks at you. And this is because you're a Fae constable.
Yes. I'm sorry, you have a Fae patron? You don't know any of this?
I don't know about you, but I was born and raised here.
Fair enough.
This location. This whole Fae thing is rather new to me. Maybe last 5, 6 years ago now. As far as things that are happening, and she just kind of gives you a shrug.
It's all right. It's my responsibility. I'll take care of it.
Now you understand why we rushed into this. We were very concerned about the Winter Fae encroaching here.
I see.
Besides, spring is the farthest away. It should be the last one on the list. Unless he starts going backwards.
Can he go backwards?
Well,
Who's he?
technically that would be forwards. I'm expecting he's going to go backwards because that would be counter to nature.
And just vacant expression. I don't know what any of this means. I'm going to be very upfront with you.
It's fine. In the here and now, we're gonna destroy a tree.
Yes. Tree bad. Fire good.
Was this a short rest?
I would say that this can be considered a short rest.
Thanks. Hey, DM,
Yes.
what's going on with my body?
Question he's been wanting to know for a week.
For a week now.
So, Caelum, you maneuver off away from the group and begin shedding your armor. And eventually, once your armor is set down onto the ground and you can finally get a good feel for yourself, as you begin to inspect where you can feel this uncomfortableness, it's on mostly your shoulders and a little bit towards your back as well. And as you reach up and feel, there is a feather-like sensation.
I knew it.
And you can feel that these feathers, the quill end of it actually goes into your skin.
Leans over the side of like a rock wall. Who's gonna freak out less about this? Hey, Cori.
Yes?
Could you check something for me? I just want to confirm.
Okay. Cori wanders around.
Are there feathers on my back?
She comes around the corner and notices that Caelum has his shirt off, and she like averts her eyes immediately. And then she's like, okay, I'm supposed to be checking.
You've seen me naked.
Yes, but I wasn't expecting this. Yes. I think that's feathers. That looks like feathers to me. She's gonna reach out and like try to pluck one.
Okay. You pluck the feather off of Caelum, and as you look at it, it is... You recognize this as a raven feather.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Ow.
Can I divine sense it?
Sure.
I divine sense the feather.
It has some celestial in it.
Interesting. She's going to hand it to him.
Cool. So, you know what? I might as well add this onto the docket. Hey guys! He picks up his arm and scoops it underneath his arm.
What's that? Oh. Did you get a new mantle?
No, I think I'm hitting third puberty. And he turns and he points to the feathers on his back.
Yes, we've had first and second puberty, but what about third puberty?
Is that normal for your kind?
I wouldn't know, Gwen. I've
Oh.
never met another Shatterkai.
Well, congratulations. You've hit third puberty?
When did this start happening?
Ilni leans over towards Arjhan.
It's never a dull moment with us.
So, Raven Knights?
What?
The other orders, is he like...
They're not Hallowed God.
Okay, that makes sense. She just nods and then continues to look wide-eyed at Caelum.
Well, we hit the ground. My shoulder started feeling kind of weird. That's why I asked to adjust my armor. So, sometime between then and now.
Huh. Well, congratulations. You're becoming a man.
Can I blood hunter bullshit?
You know, I've read textbooks about puberty and they say that you're going to get hair in places, but I never grew a beard.
Yeah, you can blood hunter bullshit this.
Oh, a lot of Fae can't grow beards.
You can do it with advantage if you don't have it already.
Well, that would have been nice to know that I was Fae from the onset, but I didn't. So I had hope that I would get a nice beard, but it never
Yes.
happened.
Can't you
One of
make
the
yourself
side
have a
effects of
beard?
being raised by a dwarf.
What do you mean make yourself have a beard?
Like with
Oh,
magic?
I
You can make
mean,
yourself look like you have a beard.
but it's not the same feeling.
What you wouldn't know.
Yeah, okay, fine, fair. Caelum starts putting on his armor again.
Cori's very invested in this conversation. Also, is still our lives are in danger.
So, like, did anyone else have really weird dreams? Like, I had the whole, like, what would have happened, blah, blah, blah bullshit. But I also had one where I was, like, in this, like, fog. And I think there were scarecrows and, like, a tiefling chick with one horn. And Arjhan was there. And there was, like...
That was a sentinel beast. No, he wasn't a sentinel beast.
Huh?
Another order.
More
Werewolf.
bestial. Rah.
Oh, yeah, but no, what? Oh, yeah. Wait,
We had the same dream.
that's weird. There was like fabric,
Cori,
and
I
then
think you were
dude
in
with a
mine.
weird face, like it looked like a pumpkin.
Yes. Yes. No. I remember Pumpkin Face for sure.
Wait,
can
you weren't
do
in our
that.
dream. You weren't in my dream.
Pumpkin Face was in my dream.
Pumpkin Face was in my dream too. I
Pumpkin
never
face.
ignored him.
Pumpkin face showed up like before.
Or the other dream.
Yeah.
I was Caelum for a while,
I was Cori for a while.
and there were these other two, and they were each other.
They were
It seems
really
like
nice.
it'd be
They were
really
very
hard to
nice.
pull off with D&D Beyond.
And
As if the integration didn't account for it.
Somewhere Bartholomew rubs his nose.
The fuck?
Ilni
It's
just
spreading.
looks at the lot of you, just shakes her head, has another swig of liquor that she got from Gwen, and just says, "Sounds like some Fae bullshit to me."
Dude, right?
And that is where we are going to go into our break for the evening. So I would like to say thank you all for stopping by and joining us on this wonderful ride through the... I was going to say boughs, but a bough of a tree is the top part. Through the roots of Soul. We are going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes, so don't go no place unless it is to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or grab a sweet old kitten. They're so cute. And we are going to try and be back shortly. So don't go no place. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
Steven!
Well, Oh, Jesus!
Did you hear the one about the crow and the telephone pole?
No!
He wanted to make a long distance caw.
No, we're not supposed to laugh at his jokes.
Sorry.
Oh, what the hell? For all you audiocast listeners, LB has a series of Corvid masks that she has worn like a Matryoshka face.
That was wonderful.
Thanks.
So good.
She's great. We love you, LB. All right, so you guys are looking at Caelum's new developments on his young bod, and
Why you gotta phrase it like that?
because you're a young man, you're handsome. There, I don't know. We're gonna make this weird and move on. So, you guys have now fully seen the effects of what happened. Cori, you are also realizing that during the events that took place in your dreaming, you somehow shifted from your moon form back into your raven form. And from what you're able to gather from the way that Caelum is describing the events, he actually used your forms when he was doing face steps.
I think that dream had to have been some form of real, because, I mean, this, and she gestures to his raven feathers, and you went into raven form while you were me, and also this, and she just takes out the plant axe. I didn't have this before.
Takes out the small Matryoshka doll. I didn't have this either.
What?
Oh
Wait,
my
you guys
God.
got cool shit? We didn't get cool. Did you get cool shit?
No.
Fuck. Some bullshit.
And Ilni just looks. You acquired things in your dreaming?
Well, usually yes for me, but not during a shared dream.
I don't remember the Matryoshka doll. I'm sorry, I don't know if I know the word Matryoshka.
Nesting doll.
I don't know. I don't remember this doll.
It's empty. There's supposed to be more of them. They kind of stacks and they get smaller and smaller. Like there's one inside of another one inside of another one inside of another one.
Like a tofurkey.
Bless you.
They're like little warlocks.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Or like ogres.
Ogres have
Full
layers.
of layers.
Huh?
Anyway,
Huh. So like it was a dream, right? But you wait.
well,
So
I don't dream anymore.
oh yeah.
in my experiences, dreams are real. Like physically, they are real.
Well then, Caelum. Anyways.
I don't know what you dream about.
And
Anyways.
as you guys have been talking about this, Ilni looks over towards you, Arjhan, and says, "So, battle plan. Do you normally think of this while they bicker, or how do you all? How do you guys do this?"
I'm gonna admit that we're not the greatest at coming up with plans.
Considering you've died twice, she's died once, and he dies a lot? Motioning towards Caelum.
No. I don't think so. No.
Okay. All right.
Do you know where this heart is, or do you have a good strategy at trying to find it?
I do.
Then I think we just go in and light it up, but that's the extent of my planning.
Then Give me some time. And she pulls out a stick and goes over towards kind of a little bit of dirt and rocks that looks like it is more loose than any of the others that you've been trouncing on, and she just begins to start carving in and making a diagram. And Arjhan, she lets you know that this is going to take her probably about 10 minutes or so to actually complete. Just give a general layout of what she has come to know to be the inner workings of Soul.
Okay. And I mean, he'll just stand by as she's drawing it, like trying to take it in.
So your friend Cori, she said that she's trying to find Spring? Trying to save her Spring?
Yeah, you know about Eldrin, right?
Yes.
She's lost her seasons.
Fae bullshit?
Still undead bullshit.
Looks like he's frozen. There he is.
He T-posed to reset.
I don't know if Cori told us about the Raven Queen. Had she?
Oh, she's been pretty forthcoming with information, yeah.
Raven Queen. Bullshit.
I see. Well, the gods work in mysterious ways.
They do.
But that corvid skull that she has, that leads her to Spring? Where her spring is?
That's our best guess. She had that on her after her encounter with the Raven Queen.
Well, then that might be incredibly useful for what we're trying to do here. Soul will try and confuse and reshape this under thing to his will, to their will, really. I don't know. I don't want to talk to the tree. And every time I've heard the echoes of it, I just...
Yeah, it's very unnerving.
No, thank you. Although, I can't help but feel a little bit like this is old times. And seeing another hunter, it's nice, to say the least. And I'm glad it's you and not any of the other fuckheads that we trained with. But, like I was saying, I think that your friend's skull might be useful. If it's pointing towards spring, and she believes that spring is the heart of this tree, this won't be a maze. It will have its twists and turns, but you'll know where the exit is.
So what do you think we're looking for?
I've never seen it myself. There are guardians in place. And the closer that you get to what I believe to be the center, the guardians get stronger. They get more difficult. The ones that we saw earlier, those were just closer to sentries. I'm not sure what's in the middle. But I'm light on my feet. I could be a distraction. There are still those who are trapped. in the amber, I could release them as a distraction, maybe?
It's a little unsettling to use live bait.
We were taught from a very young age that our life force is a resource. If I can't expend every last one of the pints of my blood protecting those who are in need, what's it for?
All right.
The best I can do is at least let you know where to go. And as Arjhan, you and Ilni are having this conversation, Gwen, Cori, and Caelum, you have all seen Arjhan just separate with this individual, who are then drawing a map in, or drawing something into the stone and dirt, while talking amongst themselves.
You trust her?
She's Arjhan's friend, right?
Yeah, we don't know a lot about his friends, though.
We
I mean,
know
I
that-
know that Arjhan trusts her completely, but
Well, people he grew up around were complete dickbags, and
do we know that?
Mhm.
Okay. No, that's right. We don't know where they are, though. That's what it was.
and she seems very nice, and he trusts her. So I'm gonna go with my gut here and say I trust her too. She could have left us in those amber sacks.
True. What'd you guys dream about? I mean, like, besides switching bodies, how did the bathroom situation work?
We didn't go.
We never had that problem.
Fair enough.
Caelum is going to, at this point in time, cast Aid on Cori, Gwen, and Ilmi.
Yeah. I love getting aid because then I get to have over 60 hit points.
Add 10 extra hit points to your maximum.
What?
Oh, shit.
I
Oh, my
got
God.
69!
Yay!
Mwah, 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 mwah.
What was that?
I've done that a lot.
She has done that a lot. He turns quickly to Arjhan. Sorry, Arjhan, I could only target 3 people, and they're like the melee of the bunch.
That's fine.
What just happened to me? What is this?
I overheard you talking and saying that your life force is a resource, and well, I've bolstered it a little.
Thank you?
Yeah, we're cool like that.
Not really.
Gwen strikes a pose.
If we're going to assault this tree and you do the plan you're going to say, we're going to need everything on our arsenal on the table. So,
What did she say?
A friend apparently has very good ears. I won't be joining you in the fight.
that part.
Why not? You're badass.
Thank you. In order to give you all a chance, what I believe to be a chance, I'm going to try and rescue the halflings that are still in the amber.
Why not? Why don't you let me? Why don't you let me do it? I mean, I'm stronger. No offense. Plus, they're kind of like my people.
You'll be joining us attacking the heart of this motherfucker. Sorry, mother fudger.
You can swear in front of me. I might be a lady, but I've heard some pretty foul mouths in my time.
Okay.
Weird.
So
He
she
grew
also-
up in a church.
All right, so the reason I am running, I know this place. I know it well enough. I can rescue them and then get them back and not worry about where I was.
All right.
Is that all right with you? You seem very strong. Very foolhardy, but strong.
I haven't lost yet. Okay, there was that one time I lost, but that was because a whole bar attacked me.
Actually, it's more like 3 times.
All right, what were the other ones?
Cyclops on a ship.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, but that was different because like I didn't pass out from that one. I just got knocked in the water.
No, you didn't. That was the Minotaur. Cyclops on the ship brought you down one hole, and then I sent Moonin down, and then I heard you yell, "Just kill me already!"
Oh.
The Cyclops, I'd like to think, was a team effort.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that one.
We
now.
worked together. If I was the one taking those hits,
Okay,
we never would
hello.
have beaten it.
We're gonna assault a tree.
You're here now,
Yes.
Okay.
and that's the part that counts. So I need you, with your very spry, very lucky little halfling legs, to kill this tree.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Okay, I don't know how that came off as flattery, but sure. So, from my understanding, the root system changes as you run. Coriander. Or Cori. I'd never heard your full name. Sorry. Cori, your necklace thing directs you towards your spring, right?
Yes.
Follow that. If you are getting lost, follow it.
All right.
And it should lead you, if you believe this thing to be your spring, that should lead you to it, if what you say is true.
Okay. I mean, hopefully my spring is in his heart, but its heart. Caelum, do you still have locate object?
I could cast it as a ritual. So give me 10 minutes.
If we get separated, then you know how to find me.
Please don't get separated.
Let's not.
I mean, listen. A lot of things happen that we don't intend.
That's why
I'm
we
just
never plan.
trying to plan ahead for once.
What does that mean? I'm joking. I know what that means.
Ilmi, quick question. Do you know how thick the walls get when they reform?
No. Not at all.
Great.
I know that it is a rotating series of chambers. From what I've seen, they don't completely reform, but they shift and move.
So chamber A will swap with chamber B, basically.
Yes,
Okay.
I think. It's not exactly linear. It's not a 1-for-1. It's erratic. But once you are
Okay.
in a chamber, it is just the adjacent ones that change.
So as long as we maintain a direction, it should be fine.
I believe so.
Okay. Right.
Are we ready?
As I'll ever be.
Yeah, whatever.
Let's do this, and for the love of all the gods, please stay close to me.
And Ilmi comes up to you, Arjhan, and says, if we make it out of this alive, same rules as always. You're buying drinks?
Hmm?
Of
We didn't hear
course.
that.
Sounds good. And be sure to make it out alive. And at that, she looks at the rest of the four of you Says, all right, is everyone ready?
Turn me
Yeah,
to
why not?
And she begins to run. And as you guys break out into the hallway of this under thing, she begins sprinting off, and the four of you begin heading towards where you believe the heart of this tree is based on the map that she drew. So I would like for whoever is leading in front to roll a... Actually, let's do a skill challenge. Let's do a skill challenge to get you guys to the center of this here tree. So, as you are running, you are seeing that the walls are beginning to shift and change as you go. Cori, you can tell by your Corvid skull that some of these walls, as they shift and change, you watch as it stops and then shifts directions suddenly. So I'm going to have everybody roll into initiative, and then that will determine the order that we go through on this skill challenge.
Just remember, guys, if somebody uses a skill challenge, you cannot use that skill again until the next person. So if I use athletics, then Danae can't use athletics, but then Connor, you can use athletics.
Yeah. But you also can't use athletics on your next turn.
Yeah.
20.
16.
11.
So got 16. Whose dex is higher?
Yours?
Okay, cool.
Okay, so Arjhan, first of the skill challenges.
I would like to use Blood Hunter bullshit to track Faye. I'm assuming spending this is like I'm tracking the heart of the tree.
Okay, I dig it. You've
So,
become
I'll
you're familiar enough with this tree, having been inside of it now, that you know a general direction of where you need to be.
So I'll take advantage with that because of Hunter's Bane and roll survival. Fucking really? 11.
Okay, so an 11 is not enough for a success. So you are used to things that are bipedal, that have some form of movement, moving from place to place in their tracking. This is a stationary object, and that is something that you are not necessarily accustomed to, especially while being inside of this creature. So even as you guys are running and trying to figure out the best location, Arjhan, you are anticipating a wall opening up. And it does, and as you hop in, Cori, you check the Raven Skull, and it is now pointing backwards towards the way that you came. Next up is Cori.
I want to use persuasion to try and guide the group, kind of dividing my attention between the Raven Skull running and talking to the group. Like, I like, for instance, Arjhan just started going the wrong way. I want to like tell him, no, turn around, let's go this way in a succinct a manner as possible.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
Dirty 20.
Okay, you succeed. Arjhan, Cori makes a very compelling argument about the direction with which you need to be running through this tree. Yeah.
Ding dong, I was wrong.
God damn it. Okay, Caelum.
Can I use insight to basically try and guess the next shift in rooms so that before even the Raven Skull points to the right room, I'll just go this way? Because for Caelum, even if Ilmi says it's random, there must be a pattern to the shifting of the rooms.
Okay. Make an insight check.
Because there's a finite space. 18.
Okay, 18 is a success. Caelum, you are starting your understanding of languages and your understanding of how magic systems work, and honestly, systems intelligence in general. You're able to kind of piece together how this tree is forming, how this tree is shifting to try and lead you away from this heart that you are chasing after. but you are able to help your party and maneuver them in such a way that even at points where the Raven Skull isn't pointing in the right way, as soon as you go into the adjacent room, you watch as it swivels and then points towards a direction that you are fairly confident this heart actually lies in. Gwen.
Gwen is going to use I'll just use athletics to kind of not parkour, but like if something starts shifting, she'll kind of shoulder it to make sure everyone goes through.
Okay.
And running. Lots of running.
Okay, sounds good.
Do I get a +3?
Yeah, you all guys all get your pluses for being near Cori as you're running.
13.
That's for saves only.
Just
Okay.
kidding. 10.
So 10, as you are doing your best to athletically run through these areas, you find yourself getting a little bit ahead of the group, which you realize is not the safest place that you need to be. So a lot of your exhilarating efforts to rush forward, you then have to spend some time actually doubling back to remember, oh shit, I shouldn't separate myself from my friends. At the top of the round, I need you all to roll a survival check.
Oh no, I don't like this. Natural 20.
8.
21.
I'm sorry, what?
I rolled a 1, but I got a 4.
Okay. So,
Aren't you
Arjhan-
lucky?
Hmm?
Halfling luck?
You're right. I
He's
am
lucky.
lucky.
It's
okay,
once per
that's a
long
10.
rest, I believe.
Is it?
No, it's
No,
anytime you roll a 1.
Oh,
Because I'm a halfling, not because I have luck.
halflings are silly.
Halflings
think
are
so.
silly.
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing is that you have to take the second roll, and it's possible that you can roll a 1 again.
Okay. So,
Sorry.
during this time as you guys are running, Arjhan, you and Cori are very well aware of this Fey bullshit going on. Caelum, you're good at running, but it is just you've been running a lot lately, and you're getting a little bit tired. Same with you, Gwen. As there seems to be this large wall that is actually trying to come up in between Arjhan and Cori, and then you and Gwen. I need you both to make dexterity saves to try and jump through it.
This you can get a +3 on. Who all is making dex saves here?
It would be Caelum and Gwen.
Okay.
Danger sense.
Yep. Ten.
+3? Yeah?
That's a
Yeah.
yes for all you
Yes.
podcast listeners.
For the love
Sorry.
of God.
I was nodding my head. No wait. 11. It's a dex save, you said, yeah?
Yes. All right, so Caelum, you and Gwen have become separated from Arjhan and Cori. At the top of our danger tracker, Cori, you have just watched this wood wall form between Caelum and Gwen as you and Arjhan are running.
Curses! Is this feasible? Can I use athletics and my plant axe to try and cut this motherfucker open?
You certainly can, or at least you can try.
Oh, boy! 21.
A 21. So as this wood wall forms in front of you, Gwen and Caelum, you just see Coralon's brilliant light shining through as this axe just sinks into the wall, and you watch as the wood almost explodes outward. Cori, as you are looking at this axe as you're hacking through, you had seen that the metal on it looked incredibly dull when you had actually gotten this axe, almost like it was tarnished. But the more that you are currently using it against this large tree, you're watching as the tarnishing is almost flaking off, like it was some sort of outer layer that had been corroded over it.
Huh. Interesting.
But yeah, so
Here's Cori!
Hi.
all right, so that'd be a success. Next up, Arjhan, because I think I skipped you on accident. Yes, I did.
Can okay, what's our situation right now? The wall has been opened up.
The
Like,
wall
they
has
can
been
get through it?
opened up. Cori has been able to just blast through it.
I wanna stealth so that we don't like alert any of the big boys.
Okay.
Playing with the big boys now.
The
19.
big boys now.
A 19. Yeah, no, you manage to, as this wall is getting destroyed, you are able to very quickly go back and forth between, like, you lead the group back and forth between rooms as they are shifting, and you watch as these guardians are starting to appear in the room where it had been broken through, right as you hop back into another room that then shifts. So you manage to successfully avoid that. Caelum, you were almost separated from the party, but you regained your forever home.
Yay! I'm gonna use Arcana to try and feel the magic out, because if this is like a root system and it's going up into the heart, then wouldn't like magic flow into it?
Yes.
Hopefully. Oh, that's so thumpy. 19.
Okay. A 19, you manage to find, after you watched the plants reseed, and after you've watched these roots move, you know that they are coming from a centralized location. You get the understanding that they're coming from a centralized location. So it's really no difficult task to then keep directing yourself. Even when the Corvid Skull isn't necessarily directing you in the right direction, you know where to go, making it much easier for you guys to progress. Next up, Gwen.
I would like to make a survival check so I can avoid roots and avoid any other creatures that might be coming our way.
Okay.
Okay. Damn it. 9.
So a 9, as you are trying to maneuver yourself, so that way these plants and things don't get the best of you. You find yourself with the plants having gotten the best of you. This is very disorienting. The Corvid Skull is pointing one way, Caelum's pointing the other. Arjhan seems like he's still trying to maintain stealth, but is also both in and out of his element. You need some booze, and right now, like, you know you can't stop to have any, which is really just grating at your very soul. So you are unable to do this thing. I need everybody to make wisdom saves.
18.
16.
Do we get Cori bullshit?
Yes, you do.
If you're with me,
26.
15.
Okay. You all managed to save through it. Arjhan.
I want to. Would I be able to do survival again if I failed on the first one?
Because Gwen used survival last time, you can't use survival this
Gotcha.
time.
Okay. Then I would like to insight check. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to gain some insight on the inside of this boy. Or tree. That is an 18.
Okay. So, with your 18, you manage to stop and close your eyes. And as you're running, you put your hand out and actually stop your party members from continuing on as well. And as you take your breath in, you watch as the walls shift and change. And one by one, the doors that you are, these exit ways and entryways, seal up until you are just in this chamber that has no exits or entryways. And you see as the Corvid skull points towards one of the walls, and that wall extends upward to reveal a pathway, and you see that there is a ramp that leads up to a central chamber, and within this central chamber is a large, it almost looks like a gem of just coalesced amber that rests inside of this tree with roots connecting to it. And from this gem, you see that there is a humanoid figure standing in front of the gem, silhouetted by it, that has a pole arm in their hand. And you can see that there is a root that extends down from the gem and actually connects itself to this figure. And you hear a voice that says, "Well, I never thought you would make it this far." And the figure lowers their pole arm towards you. I would like for everybody to roll initiative.
Did the voice come from the humanoid figure?
It did.
Interesting.
Gross.
16.
10.
5.
19.
Okay. And
You don't belong in this game, Turbo.
so with that, you watch as this figure points its glaive down towards the four of you as a bead of light seems to glow at the end of this pole arm. And from this new light source, you can see that there is a Furbolg's face that is behind this light, behind this visage. And you can see that their expression, while normally from the other Furbolgs that you have met is cheery, this one seems to have a very stern look upon their face, almost like they would have murderous intent behind their glinting eyes. As the bead of light begins to crackle and vibrate with electrical energy, I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throw.
17.
3.
Or 20 if
+3?
we get Cori.
No,
You do.
it's
Oh.
3. Because 1 minus 1 is 0. Plus 3.
What?
I got a natural 20.
11.
Okay. So,
Can Gwen sacrifice herself to save Caelum?
sadly not. All right. So, what was everyone's rolls? Caelum, you got a 3. Gwen, what did you get?
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Arjhan got a 17. And then Cori, what did you get?
11.
Okay, so our elven pair is going to be taking the full brunt of this.
Oh boy.
Gwen,
Oh,
you
boy.
and Arjhan are only going to be taking half. So, that's good. So you are each going to be taking 30, or the ones who failed are going to be taking 35 points of lightning damage.
Is this a spell?
It is a spell effect.
Everybody within 10 feet of me takes half of that.
Okay, so half 35 is 17.
Yes.
Half of 17 is
8.
Cool.
Sorry.
You did the thing, Wingsy.
You did the thing. I appreciate it.
Favorite thing ever.
And with after casting it, you see this figure then with its face still full of murderous intent gives you a smile and then it seems as though they fade. They just disappear from your sight.
Oh. He's a Furbolg.
So,
I
next
don't know
up,
what that means.
Cori.
Yes.
You see that there is this pathway that leads up towards the Furbolg that just disappeared in front of you after shooting out lightning from this tip of its glaive. What would you like to do?
Furbolgs are fey, yes?
That is correct.
I'm going to Divine Sense.
Okay. And is Divine Sense an action?
It is.
You know where he is.
Cool. I'm going to fey step to him.
Okay. And in your Raven form, that drains 6 of the overall HP. And you gain 6.
Huzzah!
Hooray!
And it's not temporary hit points, it's actual hit points?
Let's
Or is
say
it
temp.
temporary? I think it's temp.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Love it.
And as this ability begins to siphon out this life force, you hear the voice say, "Hey, stop that! That's my shtick! Get it? Shtick?" And it seems like the Furbolg's mouth is moving and this voice is coming from it, but he's not making the syllables. You know that it's more just like a flapjaw kind of motion coming from this Furbolg.
Cori's just going to try and make it obvious where he is.
Okay. It is going to use a legendary action to swing its glaive towards you.
All right.
But
That's fine.
And that is a 25 to hit.
Yes.
And
I'm
you
gonna catch the glaive in my
are
teeth.
going to be taking 14 points of slashing damage.
Cool.
And then
Reduced
4
by
points of
3.
necrotic damage as this glaive sinks into you.
Alrighty.
All right.
Zoop.
Next up, Gwen. You can see the Furbolg and you can see this giant gem.
Do I hit a thing or do I hit him? I would like to rage.
Okay.
Is anybody gonna answer?
You should just follow your heart, little one.
All right, cool. Gwen's gonna run over and try and hit this guy with her axe.
I'm going to clarify any laughter within the next
Yes.
encounter is completely out of character.
Yes. Gwen would like to recklessly attack this bitch. Furball.
This fur bitch.
This fur bitch. This fur baby. That's a with the run tax, a 24.
Oh, that totally hits. Roll for damage.
Good. Oh, that's a 1. That's also a 1. Do I get to keep re-rolling it
Nope.
with
It is just your next roll.
Okay. You can re-roll a 1 or 2 on a damage dice with a melee weapon attack well with the great weapon fighting.
I believe it's just that you re-roll the next one. If the ability says otherwise.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, no. Just the snippet of it was so that's 6 damage on the first one.
Okay.
Second attack is a 12.
A 12 does not hit.
So I'll swipe at his knees. And then I'll shift so I'm standing behind him.
Okay. Sounds good. So, next up is Caelum.
So the situation is Cori, Gwen, Arjhan, correct?
That is correct.
Like Arjhan's still next to me?
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh, I wish I did this earlier. And he's going to run up to both Gwen and Cori, tap them on the back, and cast Enhance Ability Bull's Endurance. So you both get... Oh, no, wait. Because... Oh, he wouldn't know that. 2d6 temp HP. 7 temp HP. And while they're dealing with that, he's going to Blessing of the Raven Queen up to the heart.
Okay. Sounds good. So then next up, this figure is going to use another legendary action. And this time you watch as the roots from the ground wrap up around its feet and then continue up the legs onto the torso and completely cover this furbolg as you watch as what look to be pea pods actually begin to start growing along its body. Arjhan, it is your turn.
Bonus action, light the crossbow.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Peach and Plum said hi. And I'm going to take a couple of attacks. Does a 25 hit?
A 25
does it
certainly hits.
Does it hit this furbolg?
It does.
Okay. That's going to be 11 points of piercing damage, 3 points of fire.
Okay.
And for the second attack, it's going to miss. Well, I think it's going to miss with a 12.
A 12 does indeed miss.
Okay.
So, at this point, it is the tree slash furbolg's turn. And it looks down at the Eladrin that has appeared next to it. It looks at the halfling that has appeared next to it. And it looks back towards you, Arjhan, and just shakes his head. No. And then the two of you see it turn over towards Caelum and nod gently to itself. Caelum, I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Ooh, fuck. I don't like that.
You are far enough away from Cori that you will not get the additional bonus.
What?
16.
Caelum, you blink out of existence. You are banished.
Bye.
And for you, in this brief moment, you remember being in front of this large amber crystal, and in this flashing moment, you find yourself surrounded by shadow. And you look around and you see all of the color has been drained out of the world itself. You can see mountain ranges that are dark and desolate. There are ravens flying above. You have not been sent to a pocket dimension. You've been sent to the Shadowfell.
Indor, what the fuck?
Cori.
Have your shield?
Cori.
Yes.
A spellcaster has just cast a spell next to you.
He sure as fuck has. 22.
22 hits.
I'm putting a second level smite on this bitch.
Okay.
He's not a living plant, is he?
He is not.
That's fine. 8 slashing damage, 15 radiant damage.
Okay. Sounds good. And then he needs to make a concentration check.
Come on home, Caelum. Come on home.
He got a 12, which I believe is just enough to maintain concentration.
Yeah, you gotta get
How much was the damage?
23 total.
Damn it.
Bah.
So, Cori, it is your turn.
Cool. With my bonus action, I'm gonna line up a Searing Smite. And then I'm coming at him again. Natural one. Second attack. Does a 18 hit?
An 18 does hit. Roll for damage.
Okay. Hold on. Let me double check the Searing Smite rolls. The next time you hit with a melee weapon, you getting an extra d6 of fire damage and causes them to ignite in flames. They must make a Constitution saving throw at the start of each of its turns until the spell ends.
Also,
or
you
take
two
an
lose the
extra
temp
D6.
HP.
What? Oh,
You
yeah,
two
because
lose
you're not
the
there
temp HP.
anymore?
I'm not there anymore.
Cool! That's fine. I don't care. Also, a second level smite. Bitch! You don't do this to my friends! 9 slashing damage, 2 fire damage, 14 radiant damage.
Okay, so 7. And then how much radiant? You said 18?
14.
14.
14.
Okay. So that is a total of 25. It got a 16 on a con save to maintain concentration.
Fun. Yeah, that's the end of my turn.
Everybody goes home in the end. And at the end of your turn, Cori, this figure is going to extend the glaive upwards and then smack it down onto the ground. Gwen and Cori, I need you both to make dexterity saves as roots begin to rise up from the ground.
18.
9 ain't gonna make shit.
No. So Gwen, as these roots come up, this root trick has never worked on you. Why did they think it was gonna start working now? And you just like stomp your feet a little bit and manage to get out of it. Cori, these roots have entangled you. So, Cori, that was your turn. Gwen, it is your go.
All right, Gwen is going to recklessly attack again because the fuck did you do with my friend? She doesn't understand magic. Shit. Ooh, that's a 19, so close. 24.
Oh, yeah, that hits.
24. Okay. Yep. I'm going to that's 16 damage on the first hit.
Okay. So that is another 16 on the con save.
All right. Then Gwen is gonna. I have to make 2 melee attacks, don't I?
Yes.
23
Totally hits.
for max damage, 17 damage.
Okay. And let's see it. That is a natural 20 on his end.
Ballix. Gwen is just gonna be like, "Where the fuck is Caelum?" to her friends.
Okay. Caelum. It is dark. It is cold. The sky is full of ravens. And they, within the air, begin to circle. And you hear a voice that seems to come from everything. So, you finally found your way.
He turns looking. And if he doesn't see anything, he will drop the spear, clutch the shield to his chest, and just start running. Double movement away.
As you begin to run and move, you see 3 different flocks of ravens swarm into the road behind you, and together they coalesce into 3 different figures, each wearing what appears to be cloaks made of raven feathers and ivory masks that seem to have corvid features upon them. One of them has what looks to be a kunai on a chain, and they just begin to start swinging it around and around. The other reaches in and pulls out 2 what appear to be brass knuckles that have blades jutting from the bottom of them. And the third one just begins to cock its head towards you, and they all begin to chase you down this road. So that is it for your turn. Arjhan.
Bonus action, I would like to hex this boy and give him disadvantage on strength checks.
Okay.
Then I would like to take a couple of pop shots. Does a 19 hit?
A 19 does hit.
All right, that's going to be 4 points of piercing damage,
Okay.
5 points of fire damage, and 3 points of necrotic damage.
Okay, so
For the second attack.
wait, hold on.
Yep, please do that. Please do that thing.
Then so that was for a total of 11. I'm going to be using a legendary resistance.
Okay. It's fine, we're burning them. Second attack. 16.
Okay. A 16 does not hit,
Wait.
actually.
I have to say 17 minus 2 if it's 15. Okay.
15 also
cool.
does not hit.
Dang, that would have been really great to put this damage on it.
And at that, it raises its glaive and brings it down towards you, Gwen. And that
Do
is
it.
a 19 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. So that is a... for a total of 12 points of slashing damage and 6 points of necrotic damage.
Ow! It burns! Bastard!
Next up
Not you.
is the tree. And it says, "What? He said he wanted to go home when I looked into his mind, so I sent him there." And then it is going to grab its glaive and then tap twice down onto the ground. And you see in the space between you, Arjhan, and Cori and Gwen, that a dark brown colored fruit begins to grow on the ceiling in the center of the 3 of you. And as it falls down onto the ground as he clacks his spear, as it makes contact with the roots below, it explodes out and shatters. I need everybody to make a dexterity save.
Is the tree and the figure on the same initiative? Are they both the same thing?
Yes.
Okay, he needs to make a Constitution saving throw for my fire.
That is a 17.
I believe that makes it. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm sorry, what kind of save did you need me to make?
Dex. Arjhan, you got a 1?
22.
Natural 20.
Okay. So, everyone who failed, which is Gwen, what did you get?
22.
Okay, so Cori and Gwen, you both succeed. Arjhan, you failed and are going to be taking 30 points of bludgeoning damage. Cori, you and Gwen take 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
-9.
Is
for
this a
Arjhan.
spell?
It is a spell.
Okay, half of that.
Oh.
I'd like to use a reaction.
Sure.
I need a dex save. From whoever just damaged me.
Did you subtract 9, Arjhan, from that damage?
I did not.
Okay. I'm sorry, how much was the damage?
The damage was half of 30 and then halved again. So that went to 15 and then down to 7.
Okay.
And it got a natural 1 on its deck save.
19 points of fire damage.
Woo! Okay.
What was it? The tree or the furball?
It was the furbolg. Okay, so that was... Sounds good. And Caelum, as you are sprinting and running down the road, there is a moment where you watch as these figures are getting up close to you. They are using their own abilities to actually teleport near you, and one of them is in the air, about to strike down towards you. They failed their concentration check. And Caelum, you pop and are back in the Chamber of Soul. Well, this little bastard here likes to fight.
Do I still get a turn?
On your initiative order, you will, yes.
Cool.
All right, so Cori, it is your go.
Okay. Second verse, same as the first. I hate this motherfucker. I'm lining up another. Burning. Well, maybe not for this guy. No, I'm not gonna line up a burning smite for this boy. I'm just going to try and attack him.
Okay.
Cori has gone like completely silent. She is very serious. Just murder written all over her face. 14 doesn't hit, does it?
It does not.
All right, second attack. Natural 20.
Okay.
Second level smite. $11 slashing damage. I'm just gonna get out a calculator. I don't even care. I'm not even gonna pretend like I know how to do brain math. $18 radiant damage.
Ooh, okay. That
Not as much as it should have been.
And Cori, as this strike sinks into it, you watch as this figure sort of bears itself up, and the snow pea pods that are lined across its body, they slit down, and one by one actually begin bursting. You are going to be taking 10 points of cold damage from an Armor of Agathis spell.
Okay. It is a spell, though.
It is a spell.
Okay.
And this figure rears back, says, I don't like you. I don't like any of you. So it is going to use legendary action. Cori, you and Caelum make charisma saving throws.
Okay.
What you
12?
get, Cori?
What'd you get, Caelum? There is a moment, Cori, where underneath you, slats of green moss open up and you fall through. Caelum, the same thing happens as the two of you are both banished.
Bye.
Caelum, you are currently on the you are currently now back in the plane of shadow, and you hear you thought you could run from me? Cori.
Yep.
You are in the Feywild.
Mm-hmm.
You are within the Autumn Isle. You are at the beach and looking out across the endless ocean. You see that there is snow coming, that frost is on its way, and there is a figure that is walking towards fall, that is walking towards autumn, that stops, looks towards you with recognition, and then tilts their head as you see them extend outward towards their hand as a blade of ice begins to form. So, Caelum, it is once again your turn.
Oops.
Or, sorry, Gwen.
Fuck. Gwen is going to. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna drop the Runtax and whip out the Sun Forger. Is that a free
Yeah.
action? Okay.
That's your interaction.
I'm going to hit him with the Sun Forger recklessly for it's a dirty 20. Max damage. So that's 8 plus 6.
14.
14 damage on the first one.
Okay. And that is a 23 to maintain concentration.
Sweet. And then she's going to take it and throw it at the gem and explode it.
Okay.
So it fails its dex save because it can't move?
There is a wash of magical energy that seems to go over it as it uses one of its legendary resistances to protect its heart.
Cool. Should I still roll damage?
Yes. It'll still do half.
Cool. That's a lot of 4s. Math is hard with 4s. 19 damage. Fire damage.
So that 19, because it is a giant wood being, doubles to be a 38. And as the Sun Forger dissipates, you can see that this large amber encasement has cracks running all through it, and bits and pieces of amber are now currently falling off. And you can see that there is a faint glow of pinkish energy that seems to be coming from those cracks.
All right, Gwen is gonna say, seeing your mortality there, bitch. Bring it on. She's gonna try to focus him, I guess.
Okay. Sounds good. Arjhan.
I'm going to Eldritch Blast, bonus action, crossbow shot, Mystic Frenzy.
Sure.
They all miss.
Got it. And then next up is the creature. Who, Gwen, as you say, how does it feel to come face to face with your own mortality? Looks down at you and says, "Mortality? Are you talking to me about mortality? I've seen kingdoms rise and fall. I never die. I hibernate. I'll just go right back into stasis. But you're gonna be mulch." And as it says that, it brings up its glaive and tries to stab down towards you. And it fails its first attack, and then is going to make a second attack towards you. And that is a natural 20. Which is great.
Great.
Good time was had by all that day. And that is for 7 points of necrotic and 14 points of slashing.
Solid.
Okay. Next up, Cori. You know you're back in the Feywild. You've had
Yep.
several dreams of situations like this happening. You're
How
not.
far is he?
He is at this point 200 feet away from you.
Cool. I'm going to cast Protection from Evil and Good on myself. And then Cori's going to stand up, put the plant axe away, draw her sword, and then stand her ground.
And as you are standing your ground, you hear a voice on the cold winds that sweep in over the ocean that say, "What do you expect to do? All by yourself? Stand alone. I could have protected you." And the figure is going to walk forward and raise a hand above their head as you watch 6 different ice spears appear. And then with a motion towards you, they are all going to shoot. I need you to make a dexterity save.
Okay. Seven.
7 is not enough. You're going to take 21 points of cold damage.
I have that. And I need to make a concentration save. I think I'm good. That's a 17.
Okay. Gwen.
Yes.
It's your turn.
Oh, it is. Okay, good. Did Arjhan go?
I
Oh.
go after you.
Oh, okay.
Arjhan goes after Caelum, who hasn't really gotten a
I
chance.
go last.
Yes.
Okay. Gwen is going to pick up the run axe again and go for a heckin' attack. And she's gonna recklessly attack. 21.
21 hits. Roll for damage.
All right. Reroll with my thing. So that's 15 damage on the first hit.
Okay.
And then second hit.
It is going to use a legendary action to maintain concentration, using its third and
Fucking
final one.
Bastard. I got a 10 to hit.
A 10 does not hit.
Cool. She'll shift behind him so that is she next to Arjhan?
No, Arjhan has stayed towards the back of this entire fight.
Okay. She's gonna start like actually tearing up and like start yelling at him to bring her friends back.
Okay. And as you do, it is going to use a legendary action to say, "I could bring him back, but where's the fun in that? Let me just send you to him instead." And he is going to try and stab at you with his glaive. But I don't think, or wait, no, you used reckless.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think a 13 hits.
It does not.
No. So he misses. So that is it for all of the happenings on the material plane. Caelum, you're once again in this land of shadow, and you hear as more of these garbed figures with their ivory masks begin to walk out of the woods towards you. And they maintain a healthy distance. They are only coming out to the woods to look, but you just watch as lines of them are beginning to form.
And none of them like approach him.
Not yet.
He fuck. He looks up at the sky and just yells, "Fuck you!" And he's going to overcharge a magic missile.
Okay.
Oh boy. 34.
Okay. So with a 34, that discomfort along your back is almost unbearable at this point. It seems like your armor is getting too tight for you.
It's probably inconsequential damage because it's going to target one person each.
Okay.
And then he will pivot on a heel and start running 40 feet.
Okay. And as you start running, the ones that each took one of these magic missiles to their shoulder look down, look at you running, and then they begin to walk out towards the road to follow you.
Turn.
Sounds good. And they are moving in full motion at this. Some of them, again, using their own Raven Step to get as close as they possibly can. Next up, Arjhan.
Gwen, you heal 3.
Okay.
Voice of Authority, you can make an attack.
Solid. I'm using the run attack, so that's a +6, so 15.
15 does not hit.
I'm taking 2 pop shots. Okay. Does a 21 hit?
For sure.
8 points of piercing, 2 points of fire, 5 points of necrotic. That's a total of 15.
Okay. And then it got a modified 20 to maintain concentration.
That's it.
So on its turn, it is going to look down towards you, Gwen. Let me check to see if this is possible.
Shit. Sorry, my hex should have been down.
Okay. Gwen, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. As the creature says, "You know, it'd be easier to see your friends if you just worked with me a little bit on this."
Oh, gods. Wisdom?
Yes.
Pretty sure I have a +0 to that. How does a 12 do me?
12 is a failure. So, it is going to cast a command on you and point towards Arjhan, and it says, "Attack!" All right.
Solid.
So that is it for its turn. Cori. You are on the beach. You have just been speared by these icicles, and you are watching as Cypress approaches. What would you like to do?
Going to take the defend action. Like I as the ice spears were coming towards me, I deflected like half of them with my sword, and the last of them just like dug into me. Don't even like register on my face. Cori's just gonna stand in a defensive stance.
Okay. And at that, you watch as the ice blade in Cypress's hand dissipates, and they extend the other hand out and make a rising motion with them as you watch as this blue energy that has outlined them before begins to grow and grow. And the blizzard that they are walking in front of, through it, you can see a form of a size that you have never laid eyes on personally. You have seen large buildings. This looks like a mountain. And this form, animalistic in nature, has two large glowing blue eyes that just squint at you with this knowing glare. And with that, there is a ripple that goes across your entire field of vision, as it seems almost like the barrier between autumn and winter is shattered as this cold wind just seeps through. Make a history check with advantage.
$18.
You didn't ever pay much attention in your classes, but you paid attention whenever they spoke of the primordial Fae, because you knew that one day you would have to know these things in order to become a Caelum. This is the spirit that lies within Winter's artifact. And it is coming. Gwen, it is your turn.
Solid. I'm gonna go attack my friend. Am I close enough to get to him?
You are indeed.
Solid. I attack. Sorry, Arjhan. 15 plus 6. Is it a 21 hit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's 12 or 11 damage.
Okay.
Would I have to use my full attack on him? Yes.
That was the instruction that you were given.
Well, that one hits too.
Okay.
I should have used my other dice. What am I doing? Oh, no, 15.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
And as soon as she's done, her eyes just go wide and she like looks so scared. Not scared. Upset.
Okay. Next up is Caelum. Caelum, you are running. You are running oh so fast. And there are 5 of these figures that are chasing you. You're muted.
Yeah.
Yes.
He reaches into his side satchel and pulls out the Hag's book in one hand and quickly thumbs through it, rips out a page. And when these guys just gain on him, he crumples it and it burns an arcane energy, and he's going to misty step forward
Okay.
as his bonus action. And then movement, run faster, and then action, move faster.
And as you are looking back, you can see that as these figures are chasing you down the road, that the ravens that are in the sky are swarming continuously, larger and larger and larger, until you see a face. This outlined face that looks like it is clouds wreathed in a large circle, but the clouds don't seem soft and malleable like the clouds that you are used to. These seem almost like they are sticks, like they have jagged points on them, and you see what looks to be the lower half of a feminine face peeking out of these clouds with a large, perfect smile upon her face.
Don't like that. Turns, keeps his pace.
Okay. Arjhan.
Question: whenever Gwen attacked the crystal, did it look like the Firbolg reacted anyway?
It did.
What I'm trying to get here is, if I attack the tree, will they have to make a concentration check?
Make an insight check real quick.
18.
You do not believe that attacking the heart will cause the Firbolg to have to make a concentration check. But the Firbolg is connected to this heart. So do with that as you will.
Mystic Frenzy. Does an 18 hit the crystal?
It does.
Does an 18 hit the Firbolg?
It does.
Five points of piercing, 3 points of fire to the crystal.
Okay.
7 points of force damage to the Firbolg.
Okay. And with that, Caelum, as you continue to run and see this giant face, Cori, as you witness Vinru's appearance, the both of you experience a flash, and you are both standing back in the chamber as it fails its concentration check due to Arjhan's bolt. And the four of you hear a, "Well, that's not supposed to happen!" Next up, as Arjhan, that was your turn. Did you have a bonus action that you would like to do?
That was part of the bonus action.
Okay, sounds good. Next up is the tree. And it is going to try one more time, Caelum. And actually, at this point, it is going to use a... It is going to tap its staff again, and it is going to have one of these large fruits on the ceiling fall again. So Cori, Gwen, and Arjhan, I need you all to make dexterity saves.
Who all was within 10 feet of me?
From you at this point, just Gwen.
Okay, 15.
13.
Wouldn't Arjhan also be, because Gwen had to run up to
Yeah,
him
I was
to attack?
attacking him. I'm not at the big
Oh,
guy
she's
anymore.
more forward. She's
Yeah.
more forward.
Yeah.
Yes. Gwen got a, you said dex save?
Yes.
23.
Okay. And Cori and Arjhan, what'd you guys get?
13.
15.
So the 13 and the 15 both fail for a total of 24 points. Gwen, you are going to be taking half of that. And then how far does your anti-magic field go, Cori?
It's 10 feet.
Okay, so Gwen, you also take half of that, but Arjhan, you are taking the 24.
And am down.
Well, okay, sorry. It was 24 to 12. Then half of that was 6. It's bludgeoning damage.
Yes.
So I take 3.
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
Jesus Christ.
Arjhan ends up going down.
Oh.
Caelum,
No.
you are back in this chamber. You are out of breath, and you look over and see that Cori has what looks like spear wounds through her.
Ugh.
But that is it for this creature's turn. Next up, Cori.
Am I anywhere near the Furbolg?
You were right on them when they cast this spell.
Right. So I reappeared right next to him.
Yes.
I'm gonna attack them again.
Okay.
I've still got protection from evil and good on me.
Yep.
Oh wait, maybe I should make a concentration save for having taken damage. Damn, bitch. A 12. If I took numbers, I took like 7 damage, I think.
Yeah, you'd be fine.
Yeah, good. Okay. I'm gonna attack him.
Okay. Make an attack.
Oh, jeez. It's cocked. Sorry. Oh, that's not great. I know an 8 doesn't hit. How about a 16?
A 16 also does not hit.
Coo.
Okay, so then next up, Gwen.
Oh, shit. Fuck. Gwen's gonna run at the dude. Sorry. And she's going to try to recklessly attack him again. Cori, you're within melee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's good, right?
Oh, that's a natural 20.
Womp, 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 womp.
That's fuck you, dice. 14 damage,
Okay.
and I want to do thunder step, but I'm not. But I think I'll hit Cori. Yeah.
Thunder Step is an action. So if you've already attacked, you wouldn't be able to use the Thunder Step.
I thought I have to. After you succeeded on a melee weapon attack against a target, I thought you had to do it to use it.
No.
Oh.
I also thought Thunder Step was a bonus.
No, Thunder Step is not a bonus. Thunder Step is an action. Misty Step is a bonus.
Yeah. After you succeed on a melee weapon attack against a target, the target is weathered with booming energy.
Yeah, so that's a Booming Blade.
What?
Booming Blade versus Thunder Step. So when you hit it, it has this booming
I'm reading the
energy around it.
gauntlets.
Oh, okay.
Gauntlets are okay. Once per day, you may use your action. Oh, okay. I guess. All right. So I have to hit him with the Thunder Step.
No, with the Booming Blade, you make a weapon attack because that's part of the Booming Blade
So
spell.
she's reading the gauntlet description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
which
I need to work better on. I will
Okay.
alleviate that.
So I
Sorry.
need to.
So it's
I don't need to
either-
hit him with it
No.
first.
So
Okay.
you can either have them try and make a dex save as you Thunder Step, or
Okay.
when you weapon attack and you hit, they suffer the effects of a Booming Blade.
Gotcha.
Oh, but that's not once per day. I can do that whenever.
That is every time you hit.
Oh,
Rip.
well, shit. Okay, so he takes 1d8 thunder damage as well, doubled because it's a crit.
That is if he moves.
It's only
Oh, if he moves. Okay, sorry. We're getting there.
Yep.
Second attack. That's not gonna hit.
Okay. Sounds good. So, next up, Caelum.
Caelum.
He's going to turn to the heart. He's going to press the shield against it and cast Nevermore. At fourth level. Natural 20.
Nice!
I'm gonna need to get the dice roller out for this.
You
one.
banish my boy. This is what you get!
I have the greatest one-liner if this one-shots.
Fill this boy with trauma, and then he'll wing it right back at you.
71 points of force damage.
Ooh, okay.
That's right. That's right.
So, yes. Caelum, as you cast Nevermore through the shield, you know that this is going to shatter this Jemmy. Do you have any last words for this creature?
Hey, Soul. It's time to get to the heart of the problem.
And as you say that, you hear... oh, wait, no! Fuck! And then the energy courses through as this amber container begins to ripple through. And then it pops back. And it begins to shudder. And you hear, no! No, wait! No, you needed to hear the punchline! As it begins to fall off and shatter in front of you. And as it shatters, there is a pink-looking ember that seems to be hovering in its place that was encapsulated in the amber. And the room around you begins to shake.
Cori?
Arjhan!
The figure that you are fighting just falls to their knees and then slumps forward.
Gwen takes the axe and heaves his head off.
Oh god, no, don't! He's
Okay.
probably
What?
he's probably
Make an attack roll.
innocent.
I don't care.
At advantage, because he's
Yeah.
prone.
Yes, he is.
Oh, I rolled a 6. Okay, at advantage. That's still a 12.
You somehow miss the prone target.
Fuck!
Caelum's gonna yell to Cori, trade! And he's gonna run down the stairs to Arjhan.
Okay. Corey's gonna tell Gwen, no, don't do that! He's probably innocent!
Gwen's still raging, so make a persuasion check.
I will.
I'm just gonna slide on the floor and
It's what I'm really
Arjhan.
good at. It's a dirty 20.
Okay. She has her axe up in the air again, and she just looks at you. Her eyes are red, and Gray Skull's behind her, and she's like, "Fuck!"
And he just "Ugh, not right now."
Not right now, short stuff. Arjhan, you heal 16.
Great.
And
Get
Cori,
your fucking spirit!
you approach this spirit as the walls are shaking, and it seems like there is a fading effect where the walls are in existence and then they are flickering in and out. And as you go and reach for the spirit, you can feel the warmth of spring as this ember begins to find its way towards you. And
Corey
you-
is just approaching it like Beckett descending the staircase during his ship getting wrecked. Like she's just absolutely not paying attention to any sort of destruction around her. She's just approaching as if in a trance.
And it is at that you stand in front of it, and the ember flickers for a brief moment and then expands outward to the shape of an Eladrin female that you recognize as yourself, with two fully formed arms. And they extend outwards and bring you in for a hug. And as they do, there is a moment of vibrance as the ember flares up and then enters inside of your chest as you feel that vivisecting mark almost begin to heal. And that is where we are going to call it for tonight's session. So I would like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by and join us for this wonderful boss fight as we continue on in Advent, the Four Keeps. It's been a good time. You guys aren't done with the arc yet. For all you AudioCast listeners, Connor just mouthed the word fuck. It's a good time. So, hey RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ here on the channel, but you can catch me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life and also stream Overwatch and Siege and probably Final Fantasy if I could afford the subscription this month. Catch me here every Monday and Tuesday as on Monday, Caelum the Shadowkai Cleric, Wizard. On Tuesday, we play Curse of Strahd, run by DanaeKeener.com. I play Bartholomew, the human ranger, werewolf, blood hunter. Also check myself and the lovely LBHackEmUp on Sundays over at the Pro Restarters channel, where hopefully the Twitch switch or my internet will hold up so we can actually stream a game for once. It's a good time. Check out openforadventure.com.
Hi! I'm LBHackEmUp. You can find me at
dare.
This is Lyra. She's getting big. You can find me at LBHackEmUp on the Twitters. I retweet the games that I'm in, and sometimes I post a lot of Halloween costumes because I'm extra like that. You can find me with RJ tomorrow and Danae and Steven, and we are doing Curse of Strahd. I'm playing Silmi, the half-elf wizard who made a new friend last week. And maybe she'll
Don't remember your name.
I know, right? He's gonna get a weird letter at some point. Just be like, "Hey, I know we met." And this week you can find me Sunday. We're doing Monster of the Week at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then after we will be doing Phase the Cipher System on Pro Restarters channel. So keep an eye on my Twitter for that because stuff. DanaeKeener.com.
Hoy. I'm Cyber. You can find me on Twitter at CyberWolf1201, where I shitpost and talk about stuff like whenever I go live on twitch.tv/CyberWolf1201, where I play video games real badly and talk about lore. This Saturday, we're going to try to finish up The Wolf Among Us, but we're probably not because it is long. We still have like 3 chapters to go through. All the archives of that go to YouTube, youtube.com/CyberWolf1201, where you can also find podcasts like Kyle with an N I do called Let's Talk About It, where we get drunk, do parkour, and talk about stuff going on in the RPG world, especially your games. You can also find some D&D Beyond homebrew tutorials and some other stuff. But for the RPG stuff that I'm working on, you can find stuff on Patreon and DM's Guild. You can also find me here on Mondays, where I play this character. And you can find me here on Thursdays in our Ghost of Saltmarsh game, where I play Albus, a Kalashtra Bard. DanaeKeener.com.
Speaking of DanaeKeener.com, hi, my name's Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings, mostly related to D&D and a lot of things on this channel. You can find me here on Mondays playing Cori under the Eldrin Paladin during our homebrew game, and on Tuesdays running Curse of Strahd, which is going to be tomorrow. We're going to get back into Curse of Strahd, everybody. It's going to be so much fun. We'll find out what happened after howling with a werewolf crew. And until next week, Cori smiles. DanaeKeener.com.
And if you have made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey fella, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do this show Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All of our videos go up at our YouTube link at youtube.com/Indoor Adventures. And of course, wherever podcasts can be found, you can also find us there under the same monikers. But for now, we are going to be going into our Patreon-supported after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from the community, but also from each other. So, if you had any questions for myself or our wonderful players after the episode that we just went through, consider hopping into our Discord and asking us questions in our Questions for the Courts side chat. Otherwise, post them in the link below, or not link, but post them in the side chat of Twitch as they go on. We have some of our friends who like to keep their eyes out for questions, and we will do our best to answer them. So I would like to say once more, thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by. Thank you to these players for putting up with my bullshit once again this week, and we will see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye!